If I was a 40 to 50-year-old woman who just wanted to lose 20 or 30 pounds so all her clothes would fit, here's exactly what I would do. And if you're new around here and wonder what gives me even the right to talk about this stuff, I have been working well over the last decade with 40 to 50-year-old women on losing 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds and keeping it off forever while fixing their whole relationship with food and making weight loss suck less. So, welcome to the video. The first thing I would do is start tracking calories and protein only. For most people, you don't need to track all the macros. If you just prioritize tracking total calories, being in a deficit, and protein, and let the carbs and fats fall where they fall, as long as you're having both, you'll be good to go. Because when you're just tracking calories and protein only, it takes away a lot of the stress and anxiety and overwhelm around tracking all these numbers. This way, you don't get to the end of your day looking at your app going, well, fuck, I have to somehow get 50 grams of protein, but I've eaten all my carbs and fats. I would also do all of this inside an app that has a barcode scanner to make this even faster and more seamless. Next, I would shift my identity and look at myself completely differently. You see, to get new results, you need to become a new person, because if you just continue staying the same version of yourself that got you here, then you're going to, over time, sabotage back to the same place. So the question I would ask myself is not, how do I lose 30 pounds, is who do I have to become who loses 30 pounds, and look at myself and align all of my actions with that version of myself. And then I would just become that version in my actions, and then shortly thereafter in my results. So this way my identity would become someone who is consistent, someone who does things sustainably, someone who does not give up, someone who does things the right way, someone who does become the example for their family, these kind of things. I would also start strength training 3 to 4 days a week or so. Now, if I were a 40 to 50-year-old woman trying to lose 20 or 30 pounds, I'm assuming I'd be a pretty busy person, so there's really no need even to go to the gym or even exercise every single day. So I would make sure those 3 to 4 days a week I would be training would be strength training of just the basics and fundamentals. I would use a combination of things like free weights or machines or cables or resistance bands and body weight movements, these kind of things. But I would make sure it's only the basics and fundamentals, things like pushing, pulling, squatting or hinging. No crazy hit cardio or jump back flip, spinny calisthenic-y kind of things. Oh, and then these workouts would only take me 30 to 45 minutes max. Then I would make sure to eat anything that I craved in moderation within my calorie deficit while still eating mostly whole foods. Because remember, restricting is one of the biggest reasons that causes binge eating and overeating. So I would make sure that whatever foods I wanted were never off limit. So if I wanted cookies, cake, ice cream, anything like that, I would never wait to eat it. I would never save it till the weekend or like something super restrictive like a cheat day or cheat meal. And I would have it whenever I craved it, but within moderation, within my calories, again, while still eating mostly whole foods. If I was craving donuts, I would go buy one. If I felt like having chips, I would have a serving of chips. Now, because this level of flexibility is amazing for your relationship with food, any urges I would have had to binge will start to go away. Cool thing is, you can do the same thing. Then I would make it also a point to come out of my deficit every few months or so. This is actually a pretty controversial view on this, but one of the worst things that you can do while dieting is camp out in your calorie deficit for months and months and months, or even years on end. It can even lead to your neat calories slowing down. If you don't know what that means, it basically means calories you burn that are not through exercise. Things like fidgeting, blinking, having energy to go do things, this kind of stuff. So if you stay in your calorie deficit for too long or too big of a deficit, you can actually do what's called down-regulating your metabolism, causing it to slow down. Which is why if I was a 40, 50-year-old woman trying to lose these 20 or 30 pounds, I would make it a point either every few months or whenever I started noticing like energy dropping, plateaus happening, these kind of things, I would come out of my deficit and eat at maintenance for a little while. And to top it all off, I would want to maximize my calorie deficit. So I would basically just go in and out of this 300 to 500 calorie deficit or so, still eating as much as I could while losing the weight. I would also journal or meditate, maybe even both, every single day. I don't know about you, this is as Jared right now, but also I'm assuming if I was a 40 to 50-year-old woman trying to lose weight, we all feel the Rolodex of all the emotions. Fear, worry, doubt, lonely, sad, angry, frustrated, happy, joyful, depressed, disheartened, like literally everything we experience. It's part of the human condition. But I also know if we don't have a place to hold space and allow us to feel through those things, that's when a lot of people will suppress their emotions with food, which is horrible for your mental health, but also makes fat loss kind of impossible. So if I was a 40 to 50-year-old woman on this journey, I would make sure to have into my routine journaling or meditating so I can hold space for what I feel, so I would never turn to food. Then I would also make sure I'm doing all the things that I love doing, especially those that involve food. As in, I would never miss out on any activity ever again because I thought I was going to be off track or anything like that. So I would make sure to have everything that I love and value the most inside my plan. Things like going out to eat, vacations, travel, get-togethers, date night, random pizza and ice cream night after a baseball game, lunches with my friends, and then weekend activities like barbecues, cookouts, and pitch-ins. Bonus, since you made it this far, there's actually a whole list of things that I would never do as a 40 to 50-year-old woman trying to lose 20 or 30 pounds. But that would make for a hella long video, and this video is already long enough. So I'm gonna put a graphic of it right here. So this way, if you want to see it and know what I would never do, you can screenshot that. Bonus number 2, again, not gonna go in depth on all of these, but these are a few other things you can do that you can add into your plan that aren't that big of a deal, that'll make losing these 20 to 30 pounds a little bit less hard, a little bit easier, and a little bit simpler. And that is a wrap for another video. Thank you so much for being here and tuning back in. If you haven't already subscribed yet to the channel, be sure and do that and turn on the bell notification so you are notified whenever I drop a new piece of content. And before you go, I have a few things in the description for you that I think would help you a lot. If you're newer to my content and you're newer to this world of sustainable fat loss, be sure and go through my 5-day free course called the Fat Loss Checklist. It'll basically show you the A to Z's of weight loss on how to lose your next 20, 30 pounds without your life sucking. It's totally free, it's a video course, and it goes really in depth on this stuff. Second thing I have for you, if you feel kind of lost on this journey where you're like the only one in your circle that's trying to do this stuff the right way, like your friends don't get it, your kids don't give a shit, and you just feel kind of alone on this journey, you'll want to join my free Facebook community. It's called Fat Loss Simplified, where I bring in so much more content just like this in that community, but you're gonna find thousands of other people that are on this journey losing weight the right way, so you don't feel alone anymore. And lastly, if you're sitting here watching this and you're tired of trying to figure it out, and you're so sick and tired of being sick and tired of nothing working, but this kind of content resonates, where you just can tell something deep on the inside is your secret, is the thing that's been holding you back, I do have spots open in my coaching program where you can apply to work with me, or even potentially get in on my coaching group, depending on at what time you're watching this. And I'll leave info down there below, where if that's a better fit, where you would rather have this more streamlined for you, where you don't have to worry or think about it, where we can pretty well guarantee the results because you're not the one trying to make the decisions and it's all done for you. Check out those resources below, apply for coaching, and we can see what's the best fit. Otherwise, thank you so much for being here once again. I love you and I appreciate you, and I will talk to you next time.